Hey, what's up everybody? TJFitness.net. I thought I would go over some of my favorite books, my top 3 books that I recommend for high intensity training and to show you how to do things the right way and also some different perspectives out there. The first one is by Ellington, Darden, The New High Intensity Training. This book is perfect for beginners. This is the first book I read when I was learning high intensity years ago, back in 2009. There's plenty of awesome photographs. There's plenty. It goes from the beginning days with, of course, Arthur Jones and Ellington Darden. Casey Viator was kind of the first subject, if you will, who just gained insane weight. And yeah, he lost a lot of weight on purpose. Went from 800 calories a day, lost quite a bit of weight, but then within 2 weeks gained 18 pounds of muscle. He was a genetic freak, just an unbelievable specimen. But there's a lot of good stuff about him. Some good stories here and there. There's a story about Arnold Schwarzenegger, about how he went through some of the workouts, also how he didn't quite train to failure. Lots of stuff about Arthur Jones and how to train properly. There's a lot of near the back. There are a lot of routines that you can go through, that you can try out. It's very detailed in how to train using high intensity training and explaining it. So I highly recommend this, The New High Intensity Training, Dr. Ellington Darden. All right, number 2, and I could have picked a number of books for the second book, but I bought this one years ago too. It's High Intensity Training, the Mike Mentzer Way with John Little. Okay, if you know high intensity Arthur Jones, Mike Mentzer, of course, was a big user of high intensity and altered it. This kind of shows you how he altered the routine for himself. How often he would train, obviously how hard, not just the intensity, but mainly the frequency was what I was so amazed with. I mean, he would train, probably 3 to 4 times a week and then really tone it back to 1 to 2 times. I mean, sometimes once a week and every so many days, which blew my mind. But he also incorporated split routines, which I'm a big fan of too. But Arthur Jones was not a big fan of split routines. He used to say, split routines make about as much sense as sleeping with one eye open. Now, that was his deal, and Arthur would say just anything off the cuff. He was a very outspoken guy and didn't give a shit what you said, what you thought about him. So, but Mike Mentzer's, a lot of his philosophy is in here. This is all him, and this is a great book that goes into nutrition, machines, pros and cons. Just all kinds of details about what he has learned. I mean, he was such a professor of this method, and what a great man, and yeah, I know he had a lot of sad stories too, but the man was super smart, and just really was very philosophical about this. So he was something else, and I highly recommend reading this one. Just a little different, goes into a little more detail on how he changed it to make it work for him and also his clients. Now, guess what? The third book, I don't have it. I don't know where it is. I think I loaned it to somebody, and I don't know who it was. I've asked one person, I said, hey, did I loan this to you? They said, I don't know. Anyway, I will have to find it, otherwise buy a new one. But I will put a link in there and put the name and hopefully a picture. It is by Dr. Doug McGuff, and it is called Body by Science. That is another very different, also very scientific book. Dr. Doug McGuff is still a practicing ER doctor, and also owns a personal training facility and does online coaching and things of that nature, but and YouTube channel, of course. Great advice on the YouTube channel, great equipment, great teacher of high intensity, but he goes into great depth of scientifically and internally in our bodies of how beneficial this method is. And he changed it up a little bit. He's talking about doing a 12-minute workout once a week. Now, many people, millions of people would say that's ridiculous. That's not long enough. That's not enough work. Well, go to his YouTube page and watch how hard he works in his workouts and how hard he has clients working. He performs at what we'd say is a super slow technique, 15 seconds, let's say a pull down, 15 seconds down. I mean, way slower than what I'm moving now, 15 seconds up. So minimal repetitions, but he's doing anywhere from 90 seconds to a little over 2 minutes under tension under each exercise. But it goes into so much more about, hey, you can get amazing results in 12 minutes a week, which, yeah, you can, but he goes into great depth of the benefits and the internal benefits, like I was saying, the scientific, muscular, and metabolic benefits we get. There's so many things, goes into great depth. It's obviously in a little different language, he uses a lot of scientific language, but also has a way to break it down to where any layman can understand, a little bit of layman's terms. But 3 great books that I highly recommend for learning the method of high intensity training, learning how to train properly, learning how to train without getting injured. That is most important. So check those books out. Let me know if you got any questions. See you next time.